brought to you about renovation of the presidential lodge in Lagos. I talked about this in one of our videos, and I have this video for you to watch to get the statistic of why Nigeria and African nations, are perpetually living in abject poverty. Now, in Canada, just like Rufai said.
But what I really wanted to say as regards even those renovation is the fact that as a nation, we need to introspect and ask ourselves what we truly want. And I'll bring up the matter of a place called number 24 Sussex Drive. 24 Sussex Drive is the official residence of the Prime Minister of Canada. The residence had been run down for so many years. The money allocated to it is about $40 million. But because the Canadian president or prime minister fears the people of Canada so much, and they must justify every amount spent, they've not been able to fix the official residence. The Prime Minister of Canada, as we speak today, does not live officially in the official residence of Prime Minister of Canada just because of $40 million. Canadian GDP is $2.11 trillion. Nigeria GDP is less than $400 billion. But you can see a country, despite the big economy and all of that, will still scrutinize its leaders. But a country with a small GDP that's not done well economically is so quick to spend frivolously on its leaders. So you can see the reason why economies like Canada does way better and economies like Nigeria and Africa generally are reducing. And that's what, to tie to what Dr. Abad said, that's what Ichilema was trying to explain to the Zambian people that they didn't get. May God help us as a nation.
All right. The Prime Minister is not living in the official residence. Why? Because of the amount of money that is needed to fix that place. And if you compare that GDP to Nigeria, it's far big. Now, someone will say they are developed states. Yes, is Nigeria not a developing state? Can't we develop and get to the level of being a developed state? Must we be, begging for everything at all time? It doesn't make any sense at all. And this is what Rufai is talking about. Now, Ruben Abati stressed it a bit, to talk about why the renovation is necessary, and as well as those vehicles that have been purchased for the National Assembly, and now the president is requesting for same for the wife of the president and the fleets, presidential fleets, which never make any sense. Before I give you the video of what Ruben Abati said, hear what Rufai said about the Chancellor of Germany that came to Nigeria on Sunday and was received, and they were complaining about the vehicles that were used.
Concerning the German ambassador, I think the best way to have received the German ambassador, if we're a sensible nation, I talk because I'm a patriot, should have been to use an Innoson or Nord car to drive the German chancellor. And when the president gets in with him, he says to him, that car is made in Nigeria. That's the height of Nigerian engineering, auto engineering. Then Germany will start to take us seriously. But if we are glorifying ourselves, we could have done better, all right, then it is very, very sad for us as a nation. I specifically wanted to talk about this thing, that as we called out the senators, we are also calling out the presidency here, taking all those monies for why people are suffering.
You heard what Rufai just said. If we are to patronize our homegrown, if we are to say, okay, the investors that we are looking for, our president and vice president and other, ministers and the rest, always find a way to travel out of the country saying that they are looking for investors, going to discuss with investors. Here is one in your own house, but then you find it very difficult to even portray, or let me say, sell your goods to them. Why don't you just drive on Nigerian-made vehicle, or even show them something? But then, that is not the case. And that is the reason why most Nigerian youth are talking about, in person of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, and also the former Vice President, so Osibanjo. But it's so unfortunate that such people, you hardly find them at the top position. Why? Because they will not feed their hands with some dirty deals. What do you think about this? Let's react positively, and do it to share this video. If you have not subscribed, do it, his subscription button. But here is what Ruben Abati have to say.
There are various official residencies may well be in need of renovation, because when a president leaves, a new president comes in. You know, there is usually renovation because the place will be renovated to the taste of the new president. The Dam Barracks in Lagos in particular, you know, having been abandoned more or less for a very long time, you know, needs renovation because the other building that is in Marina has been handed over to the Lagos state government. So if the president of Nigeria comes, he will have no option but to use the Dam Barracks, you know, which even also has a small landing strip for helicopters. However, the one that you may query will be, this one's about vehicles. And the example of President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia.
I had that video. I was going to play it again, but
so,
you know, go ahead.
President Hichilema of Zambia said, look, he's not going to change vehicles. He will just be using the vehicles that are there. So the question you now raise is, the vehicles that are already attached to the First Lady's office, what is wrong with them? Are we going to change all the vehicles? And then some of the vehicles, official cars in the villa, you know, are we going to change all of them just because we have a new president? It shouldn't be the culture that each time a new president comes, you change all the vehicles. And in any case, this is still by way of supplementary budget. Unfortunately, people are protesting because the same National Assembly that has taken over 70 billion to buy vehicles for members is not likely to say no. He will just say, well, I mean, since we got our own, it's good for the villa to also get their own.
I think that image on TV right now is very instructive.
Yes,
National Assembly spends 53.7 billion on cars for lawmakers in 12 years.
The third point is that in a country where inflation is shooting through the roof, there are concerns about foreign exchange. I mean, people would genuinely, legitimately feel scandalized that you are going to use public funds to go and buy luxury vehicles, you know, for whatever purpose. So these are the issues here. Our leaders should be seen to also be cutting corners.
Yes.
They should be seen to be making sacrifice. And the most unfortunate part of it is that even when they don't make this sacrifice, these vehicles will not be bought locally. They will be imported. So, and the point has been made again and again that there are local companies here that are producing cars, and it should be good enough to produce, you know, to patronize local car manufacturers, even if they are assembling, even if they are car assembly plants.
So that is it from me today. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.